This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
It's Veterans Day, and across the nation, family, friends, and loved ones are remembered and thought of. For their services to our country. From everyone here at the Omaha News, we thank you for your service, especially those deployed from the Omaha metro area. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tone Doan.
Today we meet one man serving our country from Nebraska. Also, Mayor Jim Settle joins us live on set today to talk about the city and his outlook for Omaha in 2010. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Santa Maria. This Veterans Day, many families in Nebraska know firsthand what it means to have a loved one sent off to fight for their country. As Lacey Penrose shares, the bond that one Heartland couple has might help them overcome the stress, burdens, and the tough sacrifices they make for serving their country on a daily basis.
Dedicated volunteers have made it their mission.
In light of the recent events in Fort Hood and other locations, the military has brought to our attention the effects stress can have on our soldiers. Many military branches deal with stress both post-operation and pre-operation.
Yes, we have suicide prevention classes, and there's different classes on how to deal with your stress. You know, that a lot of it they get them prepared down there at some of the bases before they deploy. A lot of soldiers are stressed about that, stressed about their families and what's going to happen when they deploy.
The events we see on the news almost daily can sometimes get you thinking, are we even safe in our own country?
I guess you don't really think about it as much while you're in the States. You know, there's never really a point that I've had to worry about my own safety, but I think it's becoming a reality more and more so every day.
Nate's girlfriend, Jennifer, says it hits all too close to home.
Hope that that doesn't ever happen again, especially if Nate ever has to be in that situation.
With this couple in a situation that few of us are familiar with, you must wonder how they get through it all.
See these men and women.
I'm the person that he talks to about it, and so I just have to be a good listener and cheer him up.
There's definitely a life lesson to be taught here.
Makes you very thankful for what you have every day.
Despite all the chaos that Nate and Jennifer have been through, they realize one thing: their life is too short to worry about all the bad. They are talking through their stresses and taking life one day at a time. For the Omaha News, I'm Lacey Penrose.
The couple continues to find the strength of being with each other, talking out the problems, and being thankful for what they have. And on this Veterans Day, that will go a long, long way. We thank Nate and Jennifer for their commitment in serving our country.
A year after raising electric rates an average of 14.5%, the Omaha Public Power District is considering a residential rate increase of 4.9%. OPPD managers presented the proposal to the Utilities Board on Tuesday. They're expected to take up the proposal on December 17th, and if approved, the rates would go up on January 1st, 2010, with an average billing rate of $4.05 a month. Despite the budget cutbacks, OPPD says it needs the rate increase next year to cover the $35 million deficit.
November marks the beginning of National Homeless Awareness Month. The Open Door Mission and Hy-Vee have teamed up to provide Thanksgiving meals for the less fortunate in the greater Omaha area.
The Open Door Mission needs the community's help to collect turkeys and other traditional Thanksgiving dinner items to prepare more than 5,000 turkey and fixin' food boxes for the Heartland's hungry.
As of this date, we have about 2,500 families that we'll be providing for.
The Open Door Mission is collecting turkeys, canned vegetables, canned fruit, instant mashed potatoes, stuffing, and other items to help prepare meals for the hungry.
Friday, November 13th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. you can shop at local Hy-Vee stores to purchase turkeys and other non-perishable items to provide hope for the hungry.
Karen Applegate explains how the Turkey and Fixin' Drives does more than just provide families with a Thanksgiving meal.
And that I signed up for the Turkey and Box had never used the facilities at Open Door Mission. And so I was explaining to her that she could shop free. I said, you can shop tonight if you want before you go home. And she said, oh, I don't have any money. I can't afford to shop even secondhand stores right now. And I said, oh, ma'am, everything in this building is free. And tears ran down her eyes.
The need for Thanksgiving donations has increased from the past years based on the economy.
We've found many, many people that signed up for the turkeys that have never asked for help before. And so I think the economy has really affected our area more than we realize.
If you would like to donate or take part in the Turkey and Fixing Drive, please contact the Open Door Mission at 422-1111. For the Omaha News, I'm Melinda Monahan.
The Open Door Mission and Lydia House will provide more than 91,000 hot, nutritious meals this holiday season to the hungry and homeless in the heartland. Remember, the Turkey and Fixins Drive is on Friday, November 13th, and Open Door Mission volunteers will be at Hy-Vee stores to collect donations.
Here's a reason to start thinking about the holidays early this year. An Omaha man has made it his goal to spread holiday cheer to the less fortunate for the season, young and old. This is Ed Chatta. He's a Bellevue University employee who's preparing to bring smiles to homeless families this holiday season.
Leave them open so that the kids know what they're getting and they get what they want.
Every day, he shuffles through the donations of clothes and toys for the homeless, hoping that this will be enough to bring holiday cheer to families struggling through the winter months.
Some of the toys that are coming in and some of the clothing that's been donated, it's really phenomenal. The amount of generosity in our community is overwhelming. It'll be nice to see all of this come together on December 24th.
Ed is getting ready for a Christmas Eve party, where he plans to distribute clothes to the needy and, of course, presents to kids who otherwise wouldn't be getting one.
This provides an outlet for people to give, and what we're basically doing is giving people an opportunity to be generous where they wouldn't have been able to in the past.
Along with other locations, donors can drop off toys and gifts here at the Bellevue University site. But besides collecting gifts, he's also asking for more volunteers to help out on the day of the event.
On December 24th, I'm going to be Santa Claus. They recruited me to do that. So in between maybe running around and doing some of the behind-the-scenes work at the event, I'll be sitting in the rocking chair next to the Christmas tree and playing Santa Claus.
If you're interested in volunteering, or even if you have some items you'd like to donate, you can contact Ed at 659-5180 for Project Kids Connect.
Students are the ones that get graded in school, but after the report card Nebraska schools received, it might be time to rethink the curriculum. More on that later.
The holiday season is just around the corner, which means more to eat during those holiday meals. When we come back, while you may want to consider nutrition as part of the celebration, you're watching the Omaha News here on the Knowledge Network.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Breathtaking. Electrifying. Inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This every week on the Knowledge Network.
With Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all just a month apart, it's often hard to stay healthy. On average, people gain about 7 pounds during the holidays.
As Stephanie Bachman reports, there are ways to keep from gaining that extra weight this holiday season.
Many people have the same problem around this holiday season.
Oh, I always gain weight during the holidays, but that's what they're for. There's lots of food, lots to eat.
With the large meals associated with the holidays, most people overeat.
There's always going to be Thanksgiving. There's always going to be Christmas meals. All that food is still going to be there next year or still going to be there in January. We don't have to just engorge ourselves.
Keeping active and moving while the weather gets colder is also very important.
I pretty much run every day, 5 or 6 days a week.
If you don't have time to run every day, there are other things you can do to stay active.
The most efficient exercise that you can do is interval training. So if you only have 20-30 minutes out of the day, whether it's going outside or maybe you have a treadmill at home or even doing something at home where you're getting your heart rate up for a short amount of time, like a minute or so, coming back down for a minute and then going back up for a minute. Just doing things that work large muscle groups, lunges and squats, all that kind of stuff, that push-ups you can do right in your home without having any fancy machinery and stuff too.
Even though we won't be having too many more nice days like this, there are still plenty of ways to keep you healthy and active during the holiday season. For the Omaha News, I'm Stephanie Bachman.
If you have any questions about staying healthy during the holiday season or for other health-related information, you can log on to unomaha.edu and click on the campus recreation link.
Nebraska schools earned 2 Fs and 1 A in a national report that calls the U.S. education system archaic and broken. According to the report from Leaders and Laggards, students lack the readiness for the modern workplace. It's staggering. According to this graph that, courtesy from the Omaha World-Herald, the report drew upon federal education databases, published reports, surveys and teachers and principals, and other data collected over the past 4 years. Nebraska received an A for removing ineffective teachers from the classroom. However, the state did receive 1 F for a dismal job of managing schools in a way that encourages thoughtful innovation. Nebraska schools also received an F for efforts to improve college and career readiness, coming in dead last among the states. The report penalized Nebraska because just 6.5% of the 2008 graduating class passed an advanced placement test, while the national rate was 25.2%.
Mayor Jim Suttle joins us live on the set to talk about some of the initiatives recently introduced to the city and his perspective on the current state of Omaha.
The weather is cooling down, but the Maverick soccer team is getting hot on the pitch. And despite a challenging season, the Maverick football team looks like they will see some postseason play. We'll tell you where and when we come back. You're watching the Omaha News.
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed your brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.
Maverick Sports has found a classy new home for football, hockey, and basketball coverage. Classical 90.7 KVNO. For schedule information, go to kvno.org. KVNO, the voice of Omaha's team, the UNO Mavericks.
If you're an Omaha kid feeling tired and slow, here's the numbers you ought to know. Eat 5 fruits and veggies every day. Drink 4 glasses of water, okay? Eat 3 foods from the dairy scene. And just 2 hours in front of the screen. Now take 1 hour to move around. That's the Healthy Kids Countdown.
For games, ideas, and other fun stuff about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
visit livewellomahakids.org. But don't stay long.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mayor Jim Suttle. Welcome to the show, Mayor.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for your interest in your city.
Thank you very much. Can you talk to us a little bit about the current budget in Omaha and what your outlook is on the budget for this fiscal year?
Well, as we talk about the budget, the thing to talk about is the 2010 budget. That's the one where we spent all the time and energy and we had success. We do have a budget that's balanced, and we need to do that by the charter and by state law. Your city cannot go into debt. Unlike the federal government that can print money, we cannot. We must always have a balanced budget. For 2009, we still have a $10.5 million shortfall, but I do plan to have that balanced by the end of the year, and we'll do that through the zero wages we're negotiating with our unions. We're going to switch some dollars from the sewer use account over to that account for city overhead cost. And then finally, we are going to go into that reserve. It's a small reserve, but we are going to tap that to balance things out.
Okay. So how do you balance providing services that Omaha is used to with this current shortfall?
Well, I think we need to have truth and honesty, and we've been through a period of denial for a long, long time that everything is rosy, and it isn't. So with the economy going in the tank, all the smoke and mirrors that were covering up our shortfalls now for the last 12 or so years no longer we're covered up. So I'm just going to roll things out very truthfully, very honestly. Everything will be very transparent. No smoke and mirrors. The truth is the truth, and we as a people are going to have to face the music on what we want to cut and what we want to have as services.
How do you prepare the community for fewer or reduced services?
Well, I think it's back to the honesty. Now, what I'm planning to do now, the dilemma I had when I walked into office was we had the revenue, the sales tax just plummeting with no way to see where the bottom was. We have successfully balanced our operation. We now have a balance between the expenditures that we've cut some $12 million and the revenue stream that we have raised up as we look at next year. That is balanced. We have balanced cash flow. Now I can begin to work it as a manager and try to keep our operating cost within the budget as we have presented it. That's the first task. Then as we go to the future and we want to start looking at things that are new ideas, new dreams, if we want to look at a new streetcar system, we're going to figure out how to pay for it. We want to go to a garbage and resource recovery and recycling system, we're going to figure out how to pay for it. If we want to develop this downtown per the master plan, we're going to figure out how to pay for it. All of those things I want to roll out and have the people fully engaged, and they're going to make decisions under a democracy, a democratic style process.
Can you quickly talk about this new snow removal program here in Omaha?
Well, I love snow, don't you? Our biggest complaint at City Hall in the mayor's action line by far is snow. My goal is to cut those complaints in half. So we're not going to be afraid to try something new, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll scrap it and move on to something else. But our goal is the biggest complaints are on residentials, and we're into a policy now because of budget reasons and other things that we don't get the residentials till 48 hours after the snow. I want to try and shift that where we can get involved with the snow on residentials through a rental truck concept immediately.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time again, Mayor
Thanks
Suttle.
for having me.
If you have any questions concerning or for our mayor, you can call his hotline at 402-444-5555.
To basketball we go. They might have a surprise reunion. We'll tell you what must happen to get the powerhouse on the hardwood for the Mavs. Also, the women's soccer team looks to play deep into postseason after wrapping up regular season play. That's all coming up on Sports Talk. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
UNO represents the commitment that the community makes toward a quality education.
Why would you not want to come to an institution that's as vibrant
and alive as this institution is.
Only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information on issues that really matter to Nebraskans. Watch Consider This, a program produced by UNO Television to give you more information than your typical newscast.
Welcome to another installment of Sports Talk. I'm Matt Santa Maria. The football team makes a decision on their postseason future, while the basketball team waits for one from a former star. Meanwhile, the hockey team looks to avoid another second-half meltdown, and the soccer team readies themselves for postseason play. We dig in today on the gridiron. The UNO football team earned the right to choose their bowl game after Saturday's big win at Missouri Western, and they've wasted no time in making a decision. Their destination? The Kansas Bowl in Topeka, Kansas, where they'll match up with West Texas A&M on December the 5th. The Buffs have won 5 consecutive games after a dismal start to the season and come into the postseason as the hottest team in the Lone Star Conference. As for the 7-4 Mavericks, they've won 2 consecutive contests themselves and hope to improve to 2-0 against Lone Star opponents on the year. The game will be played at the Hummer Sports Park in Topeka, and a limited number of tickets are still available through the UNO ticket office at 554-MAVS. Will he or won't he? The rumors about the potential return of former Maverick guard Mitch Albers continue to circulate around campus. After abruptly leaving the program to walk on at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln over the summer, Albers' intentions are now unclear, though sources close to the situation told the Omaha World-Herald that Albers is interested in returning to the Mavs. Now, the NCAA rules are always tricky. Albers would be eligible to compete with the UNO program immediately after fall classes at UNL end in late December. That would mean Albers would miss 10 total games and be eligible to return following the Mavs game versus Kearney on December the 18th. Of course, the other option for Albers is to sit out the entire season, where he'd have a full year in 2010. Since Albers isn't currently enrolled at UNO for the spring semester, both the players and coaching staff aren't at liberty to discuss the matter. A top 10 national ranking has the UNO hockey team flying high as they head into the meat of their conference schedule. But with last year's second-half collapse fresh on the minds of MAV fans, some are wondering what will be different this time around. An early season tournament championship.
The UNO Mavericks have beaten the 10th-ranked team in college hockey.
An impressive win over powerhouse Michigan State. For those who've been a part of the UNO hockey program over the past 2 years, the similarities are striking. But with no offense to last year's Mavs, this year's bunch hopes those parallels are about to end.
We've got a large group of seniors. We've got 7 seniors on our team, and these guys, I think, want to go out on a high note.
After a 10-2 start, last year's team won just 2 of their final 17 regular season games, eventually getting swept in the second round of the CCHA playoffs by Notre Dame. The second-half slide brought wholesale changes to the Maverick program over the offseason in hopes of a different ending this time around. One striking difference from last year's team comes from the bench.
I think it filters down from the coach. I think leadership, just as like everything else, starts at the top. So I think we're together as a staff and we're all looking for the same things.
Save made by Faulkner. It's loose and he covers up.
The voice of Maverick hockey over the last year, Dave Allers, thinks the new coach has made quite an impact.
puts a lot of accountability on the players for hard work. And basically, Dean has said, if you don't work hard, you don't play. And to be able to look at the game a little bit differently through, a new coach's eyes, I think has probably helped out.
And that mindset has this young MAV team looking full speed ahead.
There really isn't any reason, I think, to focus much on last year. It's all about this year, what we're doing this year, and that's to their credit.
The Mavericks return home to the Quest Center this weekend for a conference series with Lake Superior State. And of course, if that's not enough hockey for you, make sure to check out Slapshot, the UNO Maverick Hockey Show. It's aired every Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Knowledge Network. Despite a disappointing close to the regular season, the UNO women's soccer team has earned a berth in the 2009 NCAA tournament. It marks the 8th consecutive year that the Lady Mavs have earned a tournament bid. Their first-round opponent is MIAA rival Truman State, a team they split with in regular season play. The Bulldogs earned an automatic berth by winning the MIAA regular season title, while the 13-5-2 Mavs used a 9-game unbeaten streak in conference play to pick up a wild card berth. Kickoff is set for noon on Friday from lovely Canyon, Texas. If UNO wins, they'll advance to take on the top seed West Texas A&M on Sunday, November 15th. That's it for Sports Talk this week. Join us next week for our last segment of Sports Talk when we get up close and personal with UNO Maverick Soccer, and we'll catch up with the ladies in the pool as well with the swimming and diving team.
The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and sometimes it's downright cold. That must mean hunting season has arrived. This weekend will be deer season opener, but join us next week as we take a closer look at the hunting season this year. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good Veterans Day, and be sure to thank those who have served our country today.
Yep, thank you to all who have served our country, especially our very own here at the Omaha News. That's Gary Repair. Also a former anchor of the Omaha News, Carl Johnson, who's currently serving in Afghanistan, Kevin Cope, Jim McIntosh, Jim Wallen, and Cody Banks of UNO TV. Also make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/the Omaha News and catch up with our web extras at theomahanews.com. Have a great evening, everyone.
Take a look at UNO and you'll find a school that can pretty much be everything to everyone. We have that big city feel and a sense of community that creates a close, friendly campus. Our professors and resources contribute to our great reputation in the city and the region. So whether you're just starting out, transferring, earning a degree online, or choosing a new path in life, you'll be able to find what you want.
If your days get out of control, reset your attitude by setting your radio to KVNO, Classical 90.7. Discover your own personal oasis of serenity on KVNO, Classical 90.7.
The Omaha News, presented each week by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Live each Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on the Knowledge Network.